Hello there, hi. I am Terry the Terrible Magician, and an avid WEBTOON reader. I noticed the promotions for a WEBTOON called Chocolate Snow, but didn't give it much mind since I don't read much new WEBTOONs anymore. I did give it a second glance when I noticed some Reddit posts about it on r/webtoons. Now, prepare to scroll through this drama with me as I talk about the recently released WEBTOON known as Chocolate Snow. Trigger warnings for discussion of S.A. Also, please do not go after anyone mentioned this video. What exactly is Chocolate Snow? Chocolate Snow is a WEBTOON original that launched on October 19th, 2024. It started off as a Canvas WEBTOON with a rating of 9.1, which was first uploaded on April 7th, 2023. The Canvas episodes were deleted, but looking at the comment section reveals a largely positive reaction to the original's announcement. Yet, when you look at the original's WEBTOON, it has a rating of 3.9 and a vitriolic comment section. What exactly caused this discrepancy? I cannot confirm whether the story changed, as the Canvas episodes were deleted. If you don't know, once a Canvas WEBTOON moves to originals, they have to delete the story-based episodes of the Canvas comic for contractual reasons. The only episodes left aren't of any note. I can definitely see why people are upset with the current story. It starts off with the male lead saving the drunk and heartbroken main character from a man hitting on him, only for them to later have sex. Obviously, the main character can't consent due to being drunk, so this is... People felt misled by the beginning, and rightfully say that the is unnecessary for the romance. The comic didn't even have a trigger warning, which upset people as well. Anyways, the main character leaves his wallet behind by accident, leading the male lead to go to his school, where they somehow end up together in a bathroom stall. That's the first 3 episodes summed up. 2 days after launch, a trigger warning was added, but it is not professional or like other webcomics' trigger warnings. It is definitely clear that it was rushed and attempting to justify the scenes in the comic. Even though it was added, it still fails as a trigger warning because it only mentions drunkenness and adult consent, but doesn't explicitly state S.A. They apologize for not putting up the trigger warning sooner, and that they and WEBTOON do not condone it. The creator then says that the main character actually knew it wasn't his crush, but he goes along with it anyway because he's lonely. Therefore, it was consensual. Firstly, this was not conveyed in the comic itself, and secondly, you literally cannot consent while drunk. The next day, the comic was updated to say that it contained depictions of S.A. This made people wonder where the editor was for all of this. Keep in mind, the blame doesn't solely go to the creator. WEBTOON greenlit this comic, and it had to go through editors to get to this point. On the same day as the new trigger warning release, another statement was released by a throwaway Reddit account. They don't specify who they are, but they say that Paul Jun, the editor of Chocolate Snow and known as Kenny Comics, has trends in both his WEBTOON and the WEBTOONs he's edited for. They say that there's a lot of abs in the first 3 episodes, manhwa tropes, and S.A. or attempted S.A. They say that Paul Jun put pressure on the creator to include these tropes, which makes me wonder if the plot beat had occurred in the original. Like me, the poster didn't see the Canvas comic, but they say it probably wouldn't have been as popular if it had that scene. Editor Terry here. I found a comic dub of the Canvas version on YouTube. Though I can't understand the language, it is clear that the drunken sex did occur. So yeah, it's been problematic since the beginning. Going back to Paul Jun, apparently there's a lot of drama happening behind the scenes at WEBTOON. To start off with, he's an executive editor for WEBTOON, and supposedly has a lot of influence over a lot of originals, and is favored by the company due to his status. He is apparently behind the abification of WEBTOON, something I despise as of late. Maintaining abs like those are usually incompatible with the characters, like CEOs wouldn't have the time to maintain abs. Hell, only 16 to 13% of the human population can even get abs, and literally every single male lead on the platform has them. I can't even think of a WEBTOON original male lead without abs. Under the same post as earlier, someone spoils that the 4th episode, which hasn't been released as of now, reveals that they actually didn't have sex. Still, the male lead returned the main character's kiss, so that is still S.A., and it doesn't negate the audience's overall reaction as they were intentionally misled. I'll take a moment here to talk about what I think about the comic besides the controversial bits. People shit on the title, and yeah, it sounds like the shit equivalent of Yellow Snow. I can't tell if it's just trying to sound artsy, or there's a scene later that explains it. The art is just okay. The proportions are often classic yaoi fashion, like refrigerator bodies and large hands, and there's a lot of abs. And yeah, the story is pretty non-existent as of now, but there's only 3 episodes out. Here's what I think happened to stir up this controversy. For Canvas, you have to curate what kind of comics you want to read. as a majority aren't promoted in any major way. You were more likely to find Chocolate Snow if you already enjoy similar comics. But when it moved to originals, it got the typical promotion of a pop-up, a banner, and a spot in the new Webtoon original releases section. This brought the story to a whole new audience that is not the target audience. By the way, the target audience of the app as a whole is young girls, so to have a comic romanticizing without a trigger warning was a bad call on Webtoon's part. This Webtoon is being punished for what is a large problem in Yaoi comics. Granted, that doesn't excuse Chocolate Snow, but rape is abundant in the Yaoi genre. Yaoi typically perpetrates stereotypical gender roles with a more masculine seme, or top, and a more feminine yuki, or bottom. Granted, the main character of Chocolate Snow doesn't look as feminine as Uki's, but it is still very clear that is what his role was meant to be. Yaoi was created by women, and mostly for women, and the uki allows the female reader to project herself into the story. Why read Yaoi and not hetero-centered stories? There was a study done in 2018 about why people consumed Yaoi, and to be honest, the fact that such a serious study was done about Yaoi of all things is kinda hilarious to me. The general motive factor was the melodramatic and emotional factor. As for why dubious consent and non-consent, commonly shortened to dubcon and noncon, are so popular, Yaoi gives the readers a safe way to explore the sexuality, and some readers are comforted by the idea that their relationship is always destined to smooth out, regardless of a troublesome beginning. The distinction of dubcon versus noncon only exists in fiction, so technically Chocolate Snow would be classified as dubcon, but of course, in the real world, it would be rape regardless. Like I said earlier, there is an audience for this type of story, but all of Webtoon's readers were exposed to the webcomic, rather than searching for the trope specifically, or reading similar stories and having it recommended. An example of a popular webcomic with similar themes is Jinx, available on Lezen. It also helps that the platform is for mature audiences, not young girls. The channel Labi has made a great video about this particular webcomic. By the way, when I say this, I'm not trying to glorify S.A. People will just always be drawn towards the taboo. I still obviously think that the dubcon-noncon trope should be done in a way that doesn't glorify S.A. Some people say that the webcomic would have done much better on another site, and I can't help but agree. So yeah, that was Chocolate Snow, a webtoon that spawned a large controversy with only its launch episodes. I hope you guys enjoyed this short but sweet video. My browsing history is kinda ruined from researching the second half of this video, but hey, the FBI is probably already watching me from what I Google for writing anyways. I'm sure they're stoked to learn why I need to know at what temperature human blood boils, or if you could theoretically swim in blood. 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and you can, but it would take a lot of energy. If you're interested in this video, I'll leave a few similar videos from me and other creators in the description. Anyways, see you next time! Come on, girly.